Hey guys, it's Nick, and I'm going to talk about a thing that the Hawks have not been in the running for, I will say, since 2006-2007. Yes, the season where we managed winning the draft lottery to pick Hall of Fame caliber All-Star and one of the greatest Blackhawks of all time, and Patrick Kane, first overall. Well, the Hawks are in this position again where they can potentially move up and win the draft lottery. There's three picks you can win. The first overall, second overall, and third overall. I'm hoping the Hawks can win at least one of the top two picks because it's either Jack Hughes or Kakko going first or second overall. In my opinion, Kakko's the more NHL ready caliber player going into this year's draft because he currently plays with men in his respective league and Liga. Jack Hughes has been lighting up the U.S. development program this year, and he played solid in the World Juniors. Going into this year's draft, knowing that the Hawks have a chance to winning first overall this year, it's a weird situation because the Blackhawks have not been in this position in a long time. Last year, yes, they were in a position to potentially move up because they actually could have won first overall, but the lottery ball bounced in out of our favor because it was that close from going in our favor to drafting Rasmus Dahlin. But going into this year's draft, the Hawks, well, at this point on January 30th, 2019, the Hawks are in position where they can potentially having one of the highest odds going into the draft. They are currently sitting in the league 29th overall out of 31 teams. The two teams behind them, the LA Kings and Ottawa Senators. The Senators, if they win the draft lottery, please hope to God they don't, because that pick does not belong to them. That belongs to division rival Colorado Avalanche. Yes. The Avalanche do not need either Jack Hughes or Kakko on their team. From how it looks, everyone's saying Jack Hughes is going to be going first overall because of his speed, his talent, and all-around play. In my opinion, I would rather take Kakko over Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes being the potential first overall pick going into this year's draft. It's a large feat. Hughes has played amazingly, but in my opinion, Kakko is the better of the two players. That's my opinion, though. Anyone can have a different opinion, but from how I watch it, Kakko is just the better player, even though he does play with men on his league and he does light it up in his respective league. Jack Hughes, young, is playing in the U.S. development program. He's lighting it up there. Hughes is not playing with men. He's playing with kids his age and some younger. So Hughes really has not much developed in a men's game yet. That's why I would go with Kakko first overall. But if you pick Jack Hughes, you get a solid first over, or you get a solid centerman that can boost the forward lines up. If the Hawks draft Hughes, they would have a center core of Jonathan Toews, Jack Hughes, and Dylan Strome, and potentially Artem Anisimov. I'm saying potentially Artem Anisimov because he could be moved at the trade deadline. Most likely at the draft this year. Because I honestly can't see him getting dealt this year at the deadline. And if you draft Kakko, he's a right winger. And all we really have on our right wing depth is Patrick Kane. Yes, 2007 first overall pick, Patrick Kane, who is a Hall of Fame talent. Potentially, if you look at this year's draft, it's going to be a weaker draft in recent time because after Kakko and Hughes, you're really looking at who do you need to fit into your lineup. Because honestly, that's what it's looking out to be after Kakko and Hughes. Kakko and Hughes being potentially going first and second overall. Kakko is right behind Hughes from everyone's prospect pool. I honestly feel like there could be a potential movement of it. How it's been looking like over the past few weeks after the World Juniors went down, Kakko has gained some position on this year's draft going in. What the Hawks, if they do win first overall or second overall, they get a solid player that can help with this rebuild that they are currently in. Hawks do need to build their forward prospect list. They have a solid forward prospect in Evan Barrett, who's going to make the team next year, that's for sure. Evan Barrett's been lighting it up in this year, and he's going to be on the Blackhawks next season. I guarantee it. If he's not, Colleton's an idiot. But honestly, going into this year's draft, and potentially the Hawks having a chance of winning a first or second overall draft pick going into this year, it's a good thing. The Hawks are a rebuilding team. They need some young core. They have, the thing is, winning Stanley Cups depletes your prospect core. And they've won 3 Stanley Cups in this decade. Yeah, it's time to find some new prospects for your prospect core. If we can get Jack Hughes, if we could get Kakko, it can look potentially like a good deal for the Hawks because our top young gun forward is Alex DeBrincat. And then it will be Dylan Strome, I will say now, because Strome's been lighting it up with the Blackhawks. He just needed a different atmosphere, and it's worked out for Stromer to be with the Blackhawks and reunited with Alex DeBrincat. We have a young team going for us. We just need to get those young future potentially faces of the team. DeBrincat's turning out to be a face of the team, but we need that young future face of the team that's on the forward line to develop this team well. You could be potentially learning from Patrick Kane if you're Kakko. You could learn from Jonathan Toews if you're Jack Hughes. If the Hawks can draft either one of those two players, we're looking at a solid future for this team. They do need some work, and everyone knows that. If Stan Bowman's out of a job after the end of the year, we are probably looking at Kelly as our GM next year. And I would be okay for a change of GM like that. Kelly is proving himself as a future GM of the Chicago Blackhawks. Sorry about my lighting, it's being stupid. And honestly, the Hawks are looking at this as a future to the team that they need to do. If they can draft either one of those positions, first or second overall, we're looking at a solid future for this team. They have been down in the basement this entire season, and now it could pay off for us if we can win first overall, second overall. I'm not even saying third overall because, honestly, after Hughes and Kakko's off the board, it could be, you don't know who's going to be picked at that position this year. That's how weak after Kakko and Hughes this draft is going in this year. So the Hawks are in desperate need to have a chance in winning first overall or second overall, because these two players are key to look at for a full rebuild, and if you can get them, I feel like you can have a potential look at a good future for the team. Let's also look at this. Kakko being the bigger of the two players, he plays with men in his league. He's proven himself as a star in the World Juniors this year. He could be that player that can show true leadership in a franchise to come. Jack Hughes. He's been lighting it up in the U.S. development program this year. And in the World Juniors, he had a solid World Juniors, but he did get injured in it. He's only been playing with players that are basically his age and younger in his development program. He has not played with men, like where if he goes to the NHL, he has not been in that type of atmosphere yet. Jack Hughes is young, he's fast, he has that potential look to be and how this NHL is forming out to be. Fast, talented at the center position, and can put up points. Kakko, big, strong-bodied, and he's more of a power forward. That's a part of a position that you can really use in this. You can really develop into a strong forward in the league. A power forward is a key. Look at Marian Hossa. I know, I'm bringing up Marian Hossa. He is what a power forward needs to be. Kakko, I feel like from when I was watching him play in the World Juniors this year, he had that feeling of a true power forward like Marian Hossa, who can play any side of the wing. I can feel like he can do that type of thing. He has that strong-bodied mentality and can put up good points. He ended up getting the golden goal in the World Juniors this year. Hughes, small, fast, skater, and well stick-handled player. He reminds me of like a Patrick Kane if he played on the wing. That's what Hughes kind of reminds me of, because Kane, small, well stick handling player that can keep the puck on his stick without anyone trying to pulp check it. That's how Jack Hughes kind of reminds me of. But Kakko, being the strong body player that can keep the puck on his stick, keep it away from players, you could see where I'm trying to go at. It's a tough decision going into this year's draft. Everyone, yes, has Jack Hughes going first overall, but you can potentially see whoever gets first overall going into this year's draft, they probably will go with the player they need most. A strong power forward in Kakko, or a small, well-handled playmaker in Jack Hughes. You could see how either one of those players, if they get drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks, they can fit well in this team for the future. Just hope Stan Bowman does not do anything stupid in the future by trading one of them away, because you know how he is in trading away first round picks. And, well, I think you guys can understand where I'm going at in this video. Please leave a comment down below on what you would like to add into this, because I would like to hear your feedback on what you feel like the Hawks should do if they win first or second overall in this year's draft. And who you feel like the Blackhawks need more. If you feel Jack Hughes is the player the Hawks need more, please explain why. If you feel like Kakko is the player the Hawks need more, please feel free to comment down below. So thank you for watching the broadcast. I hope you understand where I'm coming from going into this year's draft, because the Hawks most likely have a chance in drafting first or second overall, but they could even move down to a potential 5th overall pick. Yeah, I do not want that happening. So, thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks. And lose for Hughes or crapo for Kakko.